often do you get to say, I just kicked my own ass?
You're seeing the two hottest cheerleaders in school go at it.
What more could any man ever ask for?
One false move and you get hit in the face. Are you okay? Yeah.
It had to work, otherwise the movie just stops right there.
Dragonball Evolution is a story of Goku, and it's his journey to find the 7 Dragon Balls.
It follows a young boy's awakening and turning into manhood, and he has a quest, and his quest is that he has to find these Dragon Balls in order to save the world from evil.
My character's name is Chi-Chi, and she is Goku's love interest.
One of our most impressive and difficult scenes to shoot was the Chi-Chi fight.
Ah! Who the hell are you?
But we wanted Chi-Chi to have an action moment. And I thought it'd be a great idea to have somebody actually become her in order to steal the Dragon Balls. And then she comes upon this imposter, and they have this great confrontation.
Chi-Chi?
This scene is the linchpin for the movie because it allows the bad guys to one-up our heroes and fulfill their plans.
Chi-Chi?
Two beautiful Chi-Chis are better than one. Two beautiful Chi-Chis fighting each other is even better.
So it's the Chi-Chi versus Chi-Chi fight. That's the one scene that I was really looking forward to shooting.
The goal with the scene was keeping the audience in the dark as to who the good one and the bad one was, because it pays off at the end of the fight when one of them turns to Goku and says, "Help me, Goku."
Help me, Goku.
And it sounds like Chi-Chi, and it looks like Chi-Chi, but is it Chi-Chi?
Goku doesn't know which one is the real one. He has no idea.
So then he has to decide, who does he take out?
The scene had to work, otherwise the movie just stops right there.
And we run the risk of the audience checking out.
There are many reasons why Chi-Chi fighting her evil twin would be challenging.
We only have one Jamie Chung. It's not like there's twins. So there are several different ways to skin this cat. One of the solutions that we talked about early was the potential of using face replacement. We could have definitely shot Chi-Chi and her stunt double and put Chi-Chi's face on the stunt double's body. The problem with face replacement is there can be a disconnect between the actual body movement and the face, and it would take the audience out, and that was the last thing we wanted to do.
We realized Jamie really has a vibe all her own, and she really brought a liveliness to the scene that we couldn't have replicated with CG doubles. So we decided the best way to capture what she has is to actually let her do both sides and do it until she drops.
As a result, we had to be really, really careful as to how we staged the fight, how we blocked it, how we obviously shot it to try to show both Chi-Chis in the same frame. We have to do that so we can make it painfully obvious for the audience that, hey, it's the same girl.
So it was really important that I was physically able to fight both sides. I had to do every segment.
So after we'd figure out what this Chi-Chi fight is, Jim set off our stunt team to go off and try to figure out, well, how do we do that?
To prepare for the scene, it all comes from collaboration. Jim tells me pretty much the feel of the scene, and I start making up sequences. I choreograph it, and action. I shoot a previs, which is I shoot it on video to visually show what I'm thinking in my head. I show it to him, he says yes or no.
When Jonathan comes up with a fight, you have a fight that's great, but is a third to two-thirds too long. I had to pull out the coolest part for me.
Once he's comfortable with it, then you gotta get her in shape.
A month prior to shooting, we learned the basic martial arts move, the kicks, the punches. It was just physical conditioning. Chi-Chi is known for her kicks and powerful moves, so I did a lot of squats,
Jamie had a pretty difficult job. First of all, she had to learn the choreography, but she had to learn choreography for both sides. So she's doing double the work.
That's not supposed to happen. It was hardcore.
At the same time, too, she has to move differently according to if she's good Chi-Chi or if she's evil Chi-Chi.
We want the audience to go through what Goku is going through.
Chi-Chi?
But there is subtlety in the performance that needs to come across with respect to the two Chi-Chis.
The good Chi-Chi kind of fights like a dude. Like, she's really hardcore, she has really powerful kicks. And evil Chi-Chi is a bit more light on her feet, a little bit more wushu.
Which is more circular movements, lower stances.
As an actor, it got a little confusing between the two. God, I forgot! And I'd often stop and be like, I'm sorry, Who am I right now? Okay, thanks.
People have trained all their lives to look so good at fighting. I knew it was physically challenging, and the fact that she got herself to the place where she achieved like 2 different personalities as she fought.
When you're dealing with a scene like this, visual effects are really, really important. What we had to do was make sure that we could actually see 2 Chi-Chi faces at the same time. And in order to do that, there's quite a technical process that you have to go through with motion control.
The bottom line here is, in order to accomplish Jamie Chung fighting Jamie Chung in the same shot, we would have to use the motion control camera techniques.
It's a camera that's on a little arm on a dolly that moves along a track, and it's operated through a computer system.
What a motion control camera allows us to do is repeat an infinite amount of times a camera move that's been designed. Jim in some ways did it the harder way, which is to block it much, much more carefully and to really work with the camera moves in order to create one move seamlessly throughout the sequence, which would allow us to essentially mix the live action footage from one side of the fight with another side of the fight. Whenever the visual effects department had to take one element of Chi-Chi and marry her to another element of Chi-Chi, we use a process called compositing.
We actually do them in the Avid, which is an editing machine. It's like a superimposer.
And so we could actually see 2 Chi-Chi faces at the same time.
There are a lot of challenges with using motion control. Even though we can make the camera do the same thing every time, as well trained as Jamie and our stunt team were, they would have to repeat their actions almost exactly the same.
Like, we're talking meticulous, like every little movement.
The contact points have to be exactly the same. It wouldn't be until we got the 2 to line up perfectly that we would actually be able to even start shooting. We'd have to call action at the same exact time because we would have to choreograph or sync when the camera moves to what their actions were in the fight.
The hardest thing is to keep your performance up at the same time repeating your move over and over and over again. I mean, sometimes for hours. So it's hard. Motion control is just tedious.
It's draining. It's physically draining. And, you know, your adrenaline's rushing, you want to give it your all, so you give it your all like the first 5 times, and then you're like, crap, we have to do it 20 more times.
When Jamie finished that scene, she was just black and blue all over.
She got bruised, you know, and no complaints.
I mean, I did hurt my neck a little bit, but it was all worth it.
She pulled through.
Who the hell are you?
I'm very happy with the scene, the energy, the way it comes together. I think gives us a really good springboard for the 3rd act of the movie.
Chi-Chi?
I know what it took to get that piece together, and every single time I see it, it's just not a letdown. It does exactly what we wanted it to do.
Even if you put it on your DVD player and, you know, stop frame it, you're still going to say, I don't know how they did that.
And it was worth every drop of sweat and blood and tears.
I think she did a terrific job, and it really is a highlight of the movie.